Hello.
I am Doctor.
Thank you.
And I'm Lena. I don't remember it.
Meet you.
And can you tell your name?
Eric Wizen.
Yes. Okay. So, do you know why you are here?
Well, for a mental health evaluation to see our baby.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you tell me what has happened during the past days?
Past days? Yes. Well, how far back?
Well, let's say a week. I understood
A week.
there was a episode you were.
Yes. So a
well,
week.
tell
Well,
me.
I'll tell you. So a week ago, I am negotiating a deal. My career is corporate executive work. I studied mathematics. I ran a corporation for 10 years as chairman and managing director. And then due to events that will become relevant in a few days, I'm placed under investigation since 2021. And it doesn't matter what the case is, you cannot get corporate work if you're under investigation. I'm sure you cannot get work as a doctor if you're under investigation. Doesn't matter how spurious the claims are. No hospital will say, well, let's litigate the case here and give you a job if we think you're right. So it's difficult, but I finally, so I'm on unemployment, but finally I find other businesswoman who also does not like police and has her own history of police abuse, so is happy to work with me. So I'm negotiating this. And then there's new symptoms with the baby. So we've been dealing with atopic dermatitis. And now there's new symptoms which are difficult to interpret. So we want to go to see a doctor, of course. And everything with atopic dermatitis, everything's so gradual. And it's difficult to we take pictures all the time to be like, what was before, what's now. So it's really difficult to, and so much things like come and go. So there's new symptoms, but the skin's doing better, right? So the skin's doing way better than before. So we want to see a doctor. We have money coming in. So we want to see a private dermatologist to have a second opinion on the first doctors. Because this treatment's working, so but maybe there's something better to do, or maybe there's these new symptoms. So that's like last weekend, basically. And then Tuesday, I go to get do my Kela unemployment, like when I've been working. Since I've been, because Kela, I went to Canada. I wanted to move to Canada, so because maybe I could just work normally because I'm Canadian, right? Because due to these problems, I'm also just persona non grata in Finland, right? So we went to Canada with the intention of move there, but then Nora got pregnant, which she wanted, and then wanted to move back to Finland immediately, to be close to her parents, etc. This was not part of the plan, and Kela then put me in extreme poverty by claiming I'm secretly working for the company I publicly accuse of laundering money for 6 months, and not give me any assistance at all, right? Because I'm like, well, we come back to Finland. I thought there would be some legal process that would resolve things, because by now I published the money laundering evidence and my accusations against police. So because one of the reasons also to move to Canada is because the case at the Helsinki prosecutor's office. There's lots of cases. So this one case, I'm under investigation since 2021 for defamation of accusing people of money laundering to the auditor. I'm CEO of the corporation. I report money laundering to the auditor, who says she can't do anything. We do business in Africa. We've done money laundering compliance forever. Right, it's always super serious. Every single detail, every receipt. Oh, what's this? What's that? What's the justification for this? Why do you spend this money? Who's this person? Who's this interest? No, in situations, no one's alleging any money laundering or even this minutest suspicion of money laundering. Just normal business, exhaustive research on what we're doing. So imagine you have this experience, and then when you're CEO and you actually have evidence of money laundering, clear documented crimes by members of your board. And you go to the auditor, right? Who, for me as CEO, she's like police, right? And all the auditor not only can do, but is obliged to do, is simply report it. And it's an obligation to report. And the threshold is just reasonable suspicion. So imagine a CEO reporting his own company laundering money to an auditor, and the auditor doesn't consider that in itself reasonable suspicion, needing reporting to the Financial Intelligence Unit. Because you can't report things directly to the Financial Intelligence Unit. Not for any legal reason. The law just says Financial Intelligence Unit centralizes reports of money laundering. But they'll pretend that this means that they cannot take reports from non-reporting entities. So anyways, so that's the backstory. And I'm finally getting out of it. Then Kella says, I'm secretly working for this company. I'm accused publicly of laundering money, publishing the evidence. And 6 months for some committee somewhere that you cannot talk to evaluate your entrepreneur status. Because you can't take unemployment and then keep working for your company. So that's obviously creates severe financial difficulties. Well, eventually I get the unemployment, so this is over a year ago. Then things kind of normalize, and then finally I'm like, well, I gotta get back to work. I gotta find somebody in the world willing to work with me. And finally, so this is the weekend. Then on Tuesday I go to Kella, and they cancel my unemployment. And I'm very frustrated with Kella at this point in my life. And I'm like, why? And they don't tell me. They're just like, we cannot make the decision. I'm like, well, what decision? And they're like, we can't tell you. I'm like, well, do I have a right to this information? And they say, yes. I'm like, well, then give it to me. Right? Imagine sitting here, and I'm like, do I have a right to an information? And you're like, yes. And I'm like, well, can I have it? And you're like, no. Like, what kind of conversation is that? And then I put this on video, I record them, and this goes round and round in circles. And the reason they can't give me the information is because they do not have time to print it. So imagine me getting into an argument with you about my right to something, like, I don't know, whatever, and then you saying you don't have time to print it, and then we're still arguing about that 10 minutes later, and, well, that's not, printer's right there, right? It's so absurd. Now, I know the law pretty well. If I have a right to the information, I have a right to sit here until you give me the information. I cannot be arrested for that. So I'm like, well, you think it's a waste of time to print off this paper? I'm going to sit here until you give it to me. So I thought I was calling their bluff, but they weren't bluffing. They called police. So I don't know. It's just nonsensical. Because then I'm like, well, we'll sort it out Friday. I'm like, well, what if I want to talk to a lawyer to prepare the meeting for Friday? I don't know what the status is. They won't tell me. And they're like, no, you can't. And I'm like, this, as a corporate professional, telling people they don't have a right to a lawyer, it just pisses me off, right? It's like the first thing corrupt people do is tell you don't have a right to a lawyer, because I guess most citizens they don't know their rights. So anyways, they called it. So this is when the drama starts. They call the police. And obviously, I cannot get arrested or charged or fined for what I'm doing, which doesn't happen. They do not arrest me or fine me for what I'm doing, which is just sitting there demanding a right be respected. However, this investigation in 2021 into me, right? So police, they never start an investigation into the crime I report. They always decide not to investigate. But they tell why I'm investigated is they tell my ex-wife there's no evidence of money laundering. Now, my ex-wife is not like a career criminal. Right? She didn't participate or orchestrate any of the crimes. Then the situation becomes very complicated, and she has diagnosed borderline personality disorder. So it's a very stressful situation, right? Things have been fine with my ex-wife. We even managed the company after divorce and so on, because when life is normal, she can handle her condition. But when things are stressed, it is difficult for her to evaluate what's real. So she sees evidence that I show her, but then attorneys, the investor, and the investor spends 60,000 euros on legal fees in 2 months, right? When I discover the money laundering. So you got these high-powered attorneys saying one thing, and she doesn't want to participate in crime, so she's trying to figure it out, but it's not easy for her. But then police just phone her and say there's no evidence of money laundering at all. Right?
And this Tuesday when you were at Kela, the
Yes.
police came there.
So then the police, the police came to just remove me from Kela, right? But then why they get arrested by police is because this case in 2021, right, which is then started by my ex-wife because police tell her there's no evidence of money laundering. So she's like, well, charge him with defamation then, which is logical. So police charge me with defamation because they just said there's no evidence of money laundering. Well, they don't charge me; they put me under investigation for defamation. Right? Now they refused to question me in 2021 when they first told me about this case, and they refused to question me in 2022, right? Because after the case was dropped and reopened, they even sent me a letter that this case can no longer be investigated because my ex-wife dropped the claims. She dropped the claims because I pointed it because they were trying to get me to sign a severance package where I drop all my claims in pursuit of everything such as the money laundering.
And what did they charge you this week?
Well, so from 2021, this case from 2021, where they refused to question me in 2021, I asked to be questioned, they refused. There's phone calls I record phone calls with police where they're trying to convince me I don't want to be questioned. And as part of their investigation into me, they're like, why do you want to be questioned? You're the suspect. I'm like, I want to clear my name. Right? However, eventually, the police, and I have emails where I'm like, with police, the investigator at the time, right? I can show you them, emails where I'm like, I'm happy and eager to be questioned, and happy to clarify all the circumstances, and and I explain in email or whatever. They don't question me then, but then 2025, they send a summons to an address I don't live at. Right? I'm like, what address? They're like, address. They sent a summons to an address I don't live at, but they know I don't live at, because they've also been like, when I go to Canada, I kind of go off grid, because I'm a bit afraid, so they don't know, and then I don't have an official address here.
What are you afraid of? Why don't you have a
well,
address?
If you want to, like, the easiest would be, where'd my bag go?
Did you leave me?
I can get my bag. If you get my bag, yeah. The easiest, like, the evidence, like, the situation is created by evidence other people create and send me. None of the evidence relies on my statements or testimony, right?
And evidence about what?
About money laundering in West Africa.
And who has been doing this or giving this
So,
evidence?
So the scheme is we have an investor who invests in 2014. He's CEO of a business in Sweden that develops a complementary technology. Together, we can provide power. We develop solar thermal technology. He develops an ORC technology, Rankine cycle, like basically turbine technology. And together we can provide power. Right? We don't have such technology because all our technology is at a state of an oven for communities. Like, so we work for NGOs like World Vision and Plan International, delivering ovens.
And what was the reason you said you were like afraid?
So this guy involves us. This guy, investor, angel investor, and sits on our board, involves us in a deal with the Katoka diamond mine in Angola.
Okay, so it's an investor. Is the investor the reason why you don't want to have a?
No. It's definitely police doing things like putting me under investigation for 4 years and never questioning me.
I understand.
And then and the reason, like, I'm not so afraid until the Thank you. I'm not so afraid. Like, I'm trying to deal with a complex legal situation. My goals at first are just to, I want to get the investor out of the company. So I offer him, because I start to suspect money laundering, there's clear evidence of crime, of fraud. I don't have all the evidence at that point. So I'm just like, look, I don't have the core evidence of money laundering to start.
Yeah,
so
I understand.
Yeah.
And then what happened after the police removed you from Kela?
So, just a second.
Do you have ID card or passport?
Not on me, because I didn't know this would happen. So what I fear in terms of, let's start with like for instance, just so you know, like these people, like they're operating, like they do these deals. They just do these deals and they put me in copy. So this is in 2015 when he invested, right? And then they talk about the ECB, the European Central Bank, and manpower for PPA, and this is it for Namibia. So they're always talking about these deals that never happen, and we don't build anything, right? They're just talking about these deals, talking about getting power purchase agreements. And then it kind of disappears, and it just happens every year. And so this is from 2015. So this does not look like legitimate business to me, but this email itself is not a crime. Then, let's see.
But okay, can you? We can look those later. But if you can now tell what happened
Well,
after.
right, so anyway, so this is. I finally find that this is where things where I start to become afraid.
Okay.
So I find this email was deleted from my email inbox because
was it an email that was sent to you?
It was an
and
email
then
that was
deleted?
sent. It was an email that was sent to me, and then after I was fired by the money launderers and allying with my ex-wife and so on, they cut off my email address. But then I negotiate back access to my email because three of the 5 board members don't know it's been accessed, and they wanted something from me, and I wanted access to my email precisely to check if somebody accessed it, which they for sure did. And then eventually I figure out kind of randomly that this email was deleted because it's in this old offline archive.
Yeah.
And it's not in the fresh archive that I download when I get re-access to my email, so clearly it disappeared, right? So deleting evidence is admission of culpability. And this particular evidence is literally called Angola paperwork. So before this, there are clear crimes committed against me that I suspect the reason is to cover up money laundering.
Yeah.
But I don't have the court evidence of money laundering. I don't have an email literally called Angola paperwork, and then it says, right, here's everything I used to get the PPA. Now at this point in time, when I get this email, I've told them we have nothing to do with this anymore. You cannot use our material, we're not involved, etc.
Yeah.
Right? Now when I saw this email originally, I have a vague memory that I don't know what he's talking about, because we're not involved in this project. Now if he got the PPA with his own stuff, that's his business. But and then there's this windmail.dat file. Now all of his emails had this windmail.dat file that was always 1 kilobyte and always didn't matter. I've never got these windmail.dat files from anybody else. I don't know what they are. I don't use Windows. I assume it's some Windows thing. But this windmail.dat file is 412 kilobytes. So there's information there. Every other one is just 1 kilobyte metadata thing. So I noticed this has 412 kilobytes. So eventually, it took me a whole day of Linux hacking to extract the files. And what are the files? There's this accounting ledger, 18 million, just a minute, 18 million euros. Our company, SolarFire, SFCO refers to SolarFire. ERG Group, okay, ERG Group is another word for ENRC, the Eurasian Resource Group, that is a Kazakhstani mining conglomerate, investigated by the UK for money laundering for 10 years.
Yeah, I understand. I'm really sorry about
and here's my name. So this is where this is the first time I fear for my life, because this is the project management and commissioning. So this is for commissioning a project in Angola. Right here, Angola, the #1 red flag money laundering country in the entire world. And my name is here, Eric Wizens, supervisory manager.
Has someone put your
yes,
name
so this
there? Is it true?
No, this document is completely fraudulent. All these files in this windmail.dat file is completely fraudulent. Why they send it to me in this weird way is because later, if it blows up in their face, they could be like, we sent him the information, he knew about it, he approved.
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, so
But
this is
I'm
where
sorry, I have to,
yes.
so because
and
for the sake of
and
your
these are
time,
just-
we have
sure.
to skip a bit forward.
Sure, I'm just saying, but here are in this archive, here are the contracts they use.
Yeah.
They use my patent, this is the patent I wrote.
Yeah,
Right, all of this is completely fraudulent.
I understand.
And therefore money laundering. And they say elsewhere that they secured $280 million Okay?
But I understood now that this week there was an episode, did I understand correctly, that the police was following you and that was why you were scared
Yes,
and brought
so
your
this is,
baby
yes,
in?
so this is,
Was the police following you?
yes, yes.
And
So,
why was the police following you?
so the police were following me because of
And was it,
the police were following us, were stalking us because of this video.
is this
Just-
a video which
This
you
is
have
this is the
recorded?
video of when I'm
From Kela.
from Kela, where I'm technically
Am I under arrest? No.
technically I'm apprehended at Kela and then placed under arrest in Tampere. So just like, but obviously in normal speak we say you're arrested.
Yeah.
So
Am I under arrest? No.
You come with us to.
No, I'm okay, but you have a right to a lawyer.
No, you don't need lawyer this case.
Well, what is the case then? Well, can I come at another time? After speaking with the lawyer.
In Finnish,
notice,
you have to come now. In Finnish, haaste. Do you have a translator in your phone? What is
So I have to,
haaste
okay.
in English? I don't know.
So I have to come, and then, but I'm not under arrest. So I come and then I go.
We go to the police
Okay,
station
then that's
and
fine.
you can.
Okay. And I would like to, but first I would like to report this crime here, because there's evidence here. So the crime, I've been chairman of a corporation.
Nora told to me that you were 3 nights in police
They
station.
say I have a right to this information.
not 3 nights, absolutely no, not 3 nights.
Not 3 nights.
How long you were there in Tampere?
I was there 1 night.
Okay, sorry.
And after you got out from
So this
that-
is so just a minute. This then they just I assume you believe me by now. They then also deny me the right that to report crime at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
That the younger police officer literally says on video I have the right. So they're just denying my rights left and right. And this lawyer here, this just a minute. So yeah, they hit. So
Who
this
was in Järvelä?
so this guy was in Järvelä.
You saw him?
Yes. So there's not me. What happens is I'm released. Right. I have this video right in my phone because obviously I didn't upload it while in custody. I'm released. Another important note: the first time Nora is contacted that I'm even in prison, because I'm not allowed a lawyer, as you see. I'm not allowed a lawyer at the Lahti police station to object to my extradition or answer questions. They question me saying I don't have a right to a lawyer. They extradite to me saying I don't have a right to a lawyer. Right? They deny me a right to phone anybody. So I just disappeared for Nora for hours. So this puts her under extreme stress. Right? Obviously, you're just disappeared, kidnapped by police essentially, with violation of my rights. So I have this, but also key detail: the first time Nora is contacted is in Tampere. So when I get to Tampere, I'm placed in a holding cell by a plausibly competent and plausibly less corrupt police officer. And I get in cell. He comes, he says, "Well, I'm there." He leaves. He comes running back down the hall of cells with Nora's wallet, and he's like, "Who's this?" Because I had Nora's wallet because I was gonna do some shopping, right? So he's like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "Well, my girlfriend." And then he goes running back to obviously confirm that she's safe. Like, right? Why? You get arrested. You have some person. Right? Now, why? I'm also searched in Lahti.
Yeah.
They also searched through my wallet.
Okay.
Why didn't they contact Nora? They now also have Nora's address. We live in Järvelä, 30 kilometers away, right? So now, where Nora then sees this guy at the store while she's shopping. Of course, she doesn't. She remarks that he's particularly scary. It's a small town. She's lived there all her life. She knows everybody. Somebody new, remarkable. Somebody super fucking scary. More remarkable as a woman. Her exact words of her impression was psycho.
What are you afraid that he can do to you and
Well, he knows I have this video. So by just showing up in Järvelä, that's called intimidation. of a witness. Harassment of just by showing up, that's already intimidation and harassment, right? Just a minute. Then Nora doesn't know she hasn't seen this video. I'm still in police custody when she sees him. Now, I then return, right? Now, I've been questioned pretty competently, and I got a lawyer in Tampere. Turns out I do have a right to a lawyer in this case. They give me a lawyer. The first thing I do is I want a lawyer. The first thing they do is I'll get one. Right? So it turns out, unlike what this guy says, I do have a right to a lawyer in the case. I get a lawyer. So things seem like normalized. Right? I got a lawyer. There's the questioning about this investigation that's going on since 2021, which I can show you letters where I want to be questioned.
But
right?
Can you tell, how did you end up in the hospital?
Yes.
Baby?
So then I get back, right? We're happy I'm released, right? Because you don't know when you're going to be released.
Yeah.
They're like, maybe we'll release you, maybe not. Yeah. Right? So I'm released. Never phoned anybody. They kept on saying you can phone somebody later. I'm like, I want to phone Nora. They're like, later. They released me. Never allowed me to phone anybody. Not even a lawyer in Lahti. Anyways, I get back. We're super relieved. We can also now do the plan to go to a doctor. We wanted to do it Tuesday because we wanted to see the finances situation, get the money from Kela, other money coming in. All the money comes in at the start of the month.
Yeah.
Then we wanted to evaluate the budget and choose a doctor.
Yeah.
Right, so obviously there's money is a part of medical choices, and we want to see a private dermatologist because the public doctors didn't recommend a dermatologist. But I don't know, maybe there's new symptoms with the nails, which I also get. So I don't know, it seems contagious or something else or whatever, right? So we want to see a dermatologist, and so we're happy we're going to be able to do that the next day. We were going to do it previously. And then I upload this video to YouTube immediately, obviously, with the description of what happened. I sent it to Nora. At first she's laughing, how dumb these cops are, because, well, it's not really dumb because there's no accountability in Finland. You can do whatever you want. I'm sure there will be never any consequences for this man. But
then did she recognize him?
Then she recognized him.
Yeah.
And she recognized him. She went from laughing at how stupid these cops are to absolute fear, like she was shaking. I've never seen her so afraid.
She's what did you do then?
So she was shaking. Now then we wanted to call police. This is stalking, right? There's no way, I'm a mathematician, you want me to calculate the odds that he just happens to show up in Järvela for the first time ever, the day after he has her wallet that he doesn't, right? He puts her life in danger by not contacting her. That's also a crime, right?
And where did you go then?
So we wanted to call police, but then we're like, well, what if this guy is waiting to respond to a police call? How terrifying would that be?
I understand, yeah.
So we're like, well, we can't call police because we don't know. Well, maybe this guy shows up, right? So I wanted to just borrow Nora's mother's car, but Nora's kind of in an irrational state at this point.
Just to clarify, did I understand correctly? I heard that were you also scared that the police would do something to you?
Of course.
What were you afraid of, murder or?
If you go through the evidence, right? Isabel, the person I'm told is behind these Angolan deals is Isabel dos Santos. You can look her up right now. She's the daughter of the ex-dictator of Angola. There's an arrest.
Were you afraid that these policemen would do something to you?
Yes, for sure. There's this evidence of corruption. There's so much evidence of corruption in email. Like this investigation that I like to just show you the.
I'm really sorry. I have the next patient to go see.
Sure. So we decide to go to Helsinki.
Yeah.
So a different jurisdiction, plenty of resources, plenty of medical resources.
Yeah.
And what happens is we go to Helsinki, and then we're like, well, maybe social workers will help us because additional help is welcome, especially in a difficult, stressful situation. Well, social workers have always helped Nora in the past. So for her, these are safe people with access to medical services and anybody that may help us, all the government services, right? So they'll help with that. So we phoned the Helsinki shelter. We go to Lahti. I wanted to go the other way, but she was so afraid she wanted to take the next train, which happened to go to Lahti. That's why I didn't want to go to Lahti, but then we end up in Lahti. I'm like, wow, what's the odds of running into police again? Obviously pretty high. And then we go to Hesburger, we go back, we're going to get a train, but we phone the shelter in Helsinki because we want to go there. And the shelter person, the person who answers the phone, accuses us of wanting to go there and that we should take a hotel. She explained, Nora, I try to tell her a simple version to just be like, we're stalked, can we come? Yes, no. But she gets into the details, police, etc. and then the person says, you can't come here, right? Take a hotel. So we're like, okay, right? So she says this is not a case for them. We cannot help with police stalking, right? Which is not going to look good for the state, right? But instead, she phones Lottie social workers to phone us. Then Lottie social workers tell us to come to the shelter in Lottie. Now, again, I don't want to go, but Nora thinks they're going to help. And it's only like a 10-minute walk. So we go, we miss the train that we had. We go. They then talk to us through the door. Right, tell me, oh, it's cold outside. We're like, yeah, it's cold outside. That's why we were inside, and then we were going to be in a train, and then you asked us to come here. They don't, and like we're like, then why not let us in? It's cold outside. Oh, it's cold outside for a baby. It's cold outside for a baby.
So the social workers didn't let you in.
The social workers did not let us in.
Okay.
And so they sent us away. So then we go, and then they phone us, and they're like, well, where are you going? You can't stay outside. We're like, well, we're going to a hotel. You don't help us, we go to a hotel. Like that's what we said the first person. And then they phone police and say that we're drug users and we're on drugs and alcohol.
Are you?
No.
You don't use any
Any drug. We are sober, fully sober.
Okay.
Since years.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So they accuse the social workers don't let us in. Then accuse, and we told them that we're afraid of a police stalker. Well, how would they know that's not true? They then phone police. That's conspiracy to commit crime against us.
Your baby is now in the.
Yes.
So just what do you think? How is he now? What's wrong
So
with him?
I believe he was abused by police and the social workers.
The baby was abused by police.
I believe the baby was abused because they realized the drug and alcohol accusation wouldn't make sense, and the other accusation was that we were delusional to fear a police stalker.
When did this abuse happen?
Well, between taking him and delivering him to the hospital.
Okay.
And I believe this abuse happened. They dehydrated him. He had constant access to boob, no symptoms of dehydration. Like we're very attuned to symptoms.
Yeah.
So we know the symptoms of dehydration, no peeing. We're always like peeing schedule, pooping schedule, everything. He does have new symptoms. We don't know what they are. That's why we want to see a doctor. But he's not dehydrated. And then and then your colleagues here at the hospital tried to convince us that he must have been dehydrated before by us.
Is that true?
No, that is not true.
Okay.
And they said it's not possible for the child to have been dehydrated between the state taking the child and being delivered to hospital. Well, I pointed out to your legal department that that is completely possible. Everybody in Finland knows if you go into a sauna and you don't drink, you're going to be dehydrated. The idea that dehydration is a long-term issue and cannot happen in the short term is on the face value absurd. So the doctors then interrogate us after saying they are only doctors and have no interest in legal points, which I'm like, okay, legal points, no problem. Like it's not your job to defend police or social workers, right? So
okay, sorry. The situation is that I understand you, but we need also a psychiatrist to assess this situation.
Sure.
So I will do this, what we call in Finland, it's yksi-lomake. So it means that we will keep you here until you have also talked to a psychiatrist.
Okay, but I would like to finish the report of abuse.
Can I have your ID card before?
I do not have. We were told about this only while on coming here. So.
Do you have any
No,
ID with
no.
you? Okay. And you can continue this with the psychiatrist. So just to clarify, you said no drug use?
And then this neck thing, we have pictures of him with his neck up, right, playing with stuff, because they say he doesn't have motor skills. We got pictures, video, right? So I believe, please note it down, I believe he was purposely dehydrated because they know the accusations that they made to take the baby away are not justified. Yeah. There's no drug use. And the idea that police can just accuse you of being delusional about an accusation against another police officer on the street without reviewing anything is on the face absurd. And I believe police do not have the legal right to claim someone is delusional.
I understand.
Yeah.
I will write it up.
Yeah,
You have
yeah. But if you as a medical professional are like, yes, police can do our job, go ahead and write that down. So they know these accusations because what they told the social worker is that the police officer was in Jarvala to serve the summons. Now this is a plausible on the face of it story, right? There is a summons. They can show the summons, right? And we are in Järvala, so logically, the police officer was in Järvala to serve the summons. Notably, they do not say it's not him. They confirm the police officer was there to serve the summons. Obviously, that is a lie, considering the summons was served the previous day, and by then I am in Tampere.
Sorry, a quick question about your backgrounds. Do you have any psychiatric history?
No, like
do you have any?
No, to be a chairman and a CEO of a corporation for a decade, you have to have very solid mental health. That's why people appoint you to those positions.
I understand.
Because
what about any other illnesses? Do you use any medications?
No.
You have no sicknesses?
Well, I have just this nail thing.
Yeah.
But it seems to be going away just with disinfectant. It
Okay.
got really bad in police custody.
Yeah.
Because I should have asked for medical attention, but there's just so much Anyway, the point is I do have these nails. Otherwise, I have no history of
So
any.
otherwise you're healthy.
I'm completely healthy.
Okay.
And
so
I do not use alcohol at all.
That's good to know.
Joo.
Kyllä mä teen
Joo.
hänen äänikkösen
Joo.
ja soitan sydäntelefaa.
Joo.
Ja
Sitten hän kertoo, mihin mennään.
Joo.
Ja have you eaten anything lately?
Like I'm not super hungry, but it would be appreciated some food, yes.
Joo.
Ja mä juttelen tuon Ellan kanssa, että mitä hän...
Joo, me odotetaan täällä.
Joo.
Joo.
Jos teille sopii.
We wait here.
Thank
Okay,
you.
is that okay?
Yes.
I bring something to eat.
Yes, thank you.
Do you want cheese or ham sandwich?
Cheese.
Cheese.
Thank you.
I put Nora's address in your.
Yeah, you can
Address.
now. Yeah, the whole point of not having an address is so police don't know where I live. But
Okay.
now
But
they
is
obviously.
that okay then?
Yeah, now they obviously do
Okay.
know where I live, so it's.
And you don't
So-
have passport or ID card.
No, I don't have it at all because in extreme poverty, like it runs out. I don't have a valid one. I have old ones.
How long have you been in Finland?
13 years.
Okay.
Like I did the army at 18. That's also like why I'm so persistent. Is like I do 6 months of military for the service for the state.
You are from state, not Canada.
No, I mean I do 6 months of military service for the state of Finland.
Okay.
And then I do my duty to report organized crime. They offered me 1 million euros
Okay.
to shut up. So you're
But
talking
what's your homeland?
Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm Finnish citizen by birth. My mom's Finnish,
Ah.
and but she moved to Finland.
You have Finnish.
Nationality, yes.
Nationality.
Well, that's why I do the police service.
Okay.
Like I'm in Canada, and Finland just sends me a letter, come do the army.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
And then you stayed here.
Yeah, but then I learned the army Finnish. Like I could follow like acento, lepo, and I know all the like.
Do you speak any Finnish?
No. By the end of I thought I was gonna learn Finnish,
Mhm.
like because I thought I would learn Finnish, get in touch with my Finnish roots. Because when I was little, there was no. It was discouraged teaching your children a foreign language. It was you're gonna mess with their mind, and so there's no encouragement or method for it. So, so you have to be consistent with the foreign
But
language.
you have Finnish custody.
Finnish nationality.
Nationality,
Yeah. I'm
yes.
dual national.
I put it here. Okay. Now we have to wait. It usually takes 15 minutes or 13 minutes.
Okay, great.
And I'm going home, and my colleague will
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
stay here. Did you saw your son yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. So that
How
was
was he?
well, dehydrated, and then they say he has these like not lethargic, which he was not before. Like when I got back from the police, he was like laughing when he saw me and smiling and laughing. I could toss him in the air. Then in less than 24 hours, he's dehydrated, lethargic. They say he has neck problems. So that is not, and then doctors trying to blame us for it, claiming that he could not have been dehydrated after, like, doesn't even make any sense. Like, to be, like, if he had proper care after they took him, right, well, he would be less dehydrated by the time he gets to hospital. Not so severely dehydrated, he's still dehydrated when we get to hospital. So this is, not appreciative, and I've written to the hospital legal department because you cannot say the part of the history of the child's care is not relevant, right? They can't, right? They just keep on saying, well, it wasn't police, it wasn't social workers, it's just you. So, and and please do not make this mistake, but once I record doctors saying these things, telling them I'm recording, because now I record everything, as you may see from the importance of it. So why say crazy things that you know to be false on recording? I don't get it. Like the police also know I'm recording. I don't get it. Like, anyways, record everything if you're in some legal problem.
Have you done that many years or in this?
Well, I can
spring?
deal with the situation because I have decades of corporate experience. So, like, I know how the law works. So these people, they are accustomed to taking advantage of vulnerable people who do not know their rights.
Okay. Here comes your sandwich.
Right.
Niklas,
Kiitos. Thank you.
elikkä mä ratsaan sulle elikkä hän on Erik, joka on tullut puolisonsa Noran kanssa tänne. Hän on Kanadasta kotoisin, mutta eikä puhu suomea, mutta ymmärrätkö suomea?
Anteeksi, mäkin olen nyt lähteä kotiin.
Niin.
Siellä on tullut määräyksiä siihen lisää somatiikan puoleen siihen meidän listalaiseen. Kato siitä.
Eli Nooralle? Joo. No niin, eli sinä katsot.
Olin vähän ylitöissä.
Joo. Joo, eli he on menneet toissapäivänä turvakotiin hakemaan apua. Ja siellä on todettu, että vauvalla ei ole kaikki hyvin. Ja sitten poliisi on toimittanut vauvan lastenosastolle. Ja sitten he on eilen, you see your baby yesterday. Joo, mutta tänään sitten on todettu, tai sossut ollut tässä mukana, että ilman, että psyykkinen vointi arvioidaan, niin ei voi mennä ennen sitä. Ja siksi he on tullut tänne. Okay. Ja me ollaan jututettu ensin hänen puolisonsa Nora, jota on lääkäri joko jututtamassa tai sitten
varmaan jututti.
Ja hänestä oli otettu vähän labroja, ja minä olen antanut kissapurkin huumeseulaa varten, mutta jotain lisääkin on tullut. Katso se Noran.
Joo. Ja lastensuojeluilmoitusta en ole heidän asioissaan vielä tehnyt, mutta se varmaan pitää soittaa joka tapauksessa.
Joo. Nora odottaa tuolla ja nyt sitten otti häntä yhdessä lääkärin kanssa ja hän on ihan silleen niin kuin yhteistyössä niin kuin kertonut asioistaan ja lääkäri tekee nyt M1-lähetteen psykiatrialle ja hän tietää siitä. Ja odotellaan nyt sitä. Okay. Turvaäijät on naapurihuoneessa ja lähtee sitten messiin. Ja
mä voin kanssa kertoa, että saa
sitten minä kerron tämmöisiä juttuja. Tässä on se vauvan sotu ja tuo ehkä turhaa. Mä täydensin ton Erikin tiedot. Eli tässä on sitten Tai minä voin sanoa. Minä voin sanoa tämän.
Ne on huoneet, ne saa.
Joo. Ja
siinä on semmoinen Arpo
Joo.
Lahti myös, voinko sanoa vähän kotiin. Arpo Lahti, jonka mä tapasin, ja lääkäri olikin ottanut. Se tarvitsisi varmaan lähetteen tuonne porille.
Joo.
Joo, mutta se on siinä listalla nyt.
lähtikö se lapsikotiin? Tai hakiko ne?
Joo, se oli hän tuli tosiaan lapsen kanssa, se on viikonlopun, hän sopi äitinsä paljon, se on siellä nyt viikonlopun. Mä tein siinä lapsen selkeetä. Ja mä katsoin, että sinne oli just tullut joku potilas.
Joo, eli joku kehitysvammainen vapaaehtoinen on mennyt siniselle ottamaan, sanoi, että nyt ei pysty repeen. Ja sitten siellä on yksi mummeli, se on vasta päässyt psykolta. Muistaakseni minä tapasin sen viimeksi, kun vietiin osastolle se.
Niitä on näköjään.
Arja.
Ei vaan.
Niin tää on se varmaan se kehva. Joo.
Joo. Niin se on kakkoshuoneessa niitä.
Okei, joo.
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 Toi on se kanteri ja
Joo.
toi on se.
Meidän tekstit on valmiita ja nuo on tilastoitu.
Tämmönen.
Se on se vanha mummo.
Joo.
Mitä mulle määrää? Katsotaanpa mitä määräyksiä oli tullut sille Noralle.
Jotenkin mä arvasin, että tää viimeinen vähän.
Just joo. Mut kyllä tää tästä taas kun... Okei.
No katsotaan milloin tää ehtii.
Joo.
Mä ehtii
Bye.
hänelle mitään vielä. ilmeisesti lähetettä. Näin mulle informoitiin. Oo. Joo, näin mä kuulinkin tosta toi Leena mulle tokas tossa. Toivon mukaan ei kestäisi ikuisuuksia. Jees, mutta mä hiihkasen teille sitten tosta noin kun lähdetään menemään. Jes, joo, morjes. Kaksoiskoteus. No terve. Joo. Okei. Niin just. Joo, mä ymmärsin että tuosta Illavuoron kollegalta, että tässä vaiheessa odotellaan enää lähetettä. Niin. Joo, näin ainakin ymmärsin. Jes, kiitos, moi.
So the psychiatrist will
Great.
assess the situation
thank you.
and then you will continue from there.
Great, thank you very much.
I will just call there and inform that we
Great.
are going there.
Thanks. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I will escort you there.
All right. Nice. Sounds good.
No, se on siis. Ei, soitteluspäivystä vielä teille. Joo, tarkkailulähetteellä olisi Vissens Erik. Mä voin laittaa teille kohta tulevia tohon noin. Joo. Niin, mä voin siellä vielä tarkemmin kertoa. Jees. Niin, me lähdetään tästä Turvan kanssa tulemaan. Jes, joo. Oo. So, just follow me, and I will escort you. See the next doctor.
Great. Close the door.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Is the Howland do?
No. We're just doing underground tunnel to the next building. It looks like a cellar. Luckily we are going to the ground level from here. Yeah. It looks pretty bad. Yeah.
It looks interesting. Unusual.
Yeah, kind kinda rough. Rough on the surface.
Ambiance, the meeting.
Yeah.
Niin, ei tarvii juosta.
Mennään vaunulla. Siellä tulee jono odottaa. Jäänyt semmonen pikku pommikon. Otetaan kato vauhit heti illasta pois. Loppuja voidaan vetää sit monta. Joo. go to the doctor and the doctor is coming here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just sit and wait for a little bit and then the doctor will come and make the assessment.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Joo, siihen on sit ihan syy, Jukka.
No mikä? Tää kello on vielä 24 ollaan. Tää on vuonna ei olla. Se on koko ajan aamu pitää.
We wait now to doctor and then I come with you to meet the doctor. Can I have your backing here? That one. You can put it right there. And I will call now the doctor that we are right. So he will come. You can sit because it's going to take a little bit time because
Good.
it's there.
No problem.
Right now. I'm going to go and tell that you have
Alexei. I'm a doctor, I'm a physician.
Yes.
My English skill not so good.
It's fine.
And we have to call translator.
Okay, that's okay.
No hei, tässä tilapäisillä sairaanhoitaja soittaa tosiaan tulkkia potilaan kanssa lääkärin alaiseen ilmanlaajan toteaa, että tuohon päiväille.
Hello, my name is Tatjana Moraru-Purinen and I'm English language interpreter. I'm totally impartial and I do respect confidentiality. Hei, olen Tatjana Moraru-Purinen ja olen englanninkielinen tulkki. Minulla on vaihtoehtovelvollisuus ja olen täysin puoleton. Voimme aloittaa.
No niin, hei vaan, Aleksei Bizinina mun nimi. Mä oon päivystävä psykiatri ja potilaana meillä on Erik Vissens ja hänestä on tehty tarkkailulähete, joka tarkoittaa, että lähettävä lääkäri pyytää psykiatrin kannanottoa tilanteeseen. Eli kysyt potilasta, että ymmärtääkö hän, miksi hän on tänne lähetetty.
Okay, my name is Alexi and I have got a recommendation and this direction from another doctor to make further examinations for you. Do you understand the reason why you are sent here for further examinations?
Yes.
Okei, no voiko hän kertoa, että mitä on tällaista tapahtunut, että mä tiedän, että hänen vauva on nyt hoidossa sairaalassa ja lääkäri on ollut sekä vauvasta että potilasta huolissa.
Okay, now you're under the treatment and can you tell me what's the reason you are now under the treatment and your child is under the treatment?
That I'm under treatment?
No, hän ei ole hoidossa vielä, että hänet on lähetetty tänne hoitoon.
You are not under the treatment yet, but you have been directed to have the treatment.
Well, for me this is an evaluation.
Mielestäni on
Okay.
vasta se arvio.
Kyllä, se on just arvio, joo,
Okay.
kyllä. Hän on oikeassa, joo.
Yes, well, yeah, I do understand and the circumstances. And what was the original question?
Kyllä minä ymmärrän, että on olosuhteet ja mikä se oli teidän
No,
kysymys.
mun kysymys, että mitä potilas mieltä, että hänet halutaan niin kuin psykiatrille arvioida. Onko hänen mielestä syytä tulla psykiatrille arvioida?
Yes, the question is that is there a reason for your psychiatric evaluation?
Yes, so it is a condition to see our child who was taken by the state under accusations of drug use and that we were delusional to fear a police officer who we believed was stalking us. The police who, we went to a shelter, we wanted to go to Helsinki shelter outside Lahti jurisdiction, and Helsinki shelter said they can't help us, and that we explained, we feared a police officer. We wanted to come to shelter for shelter and for help, including the baby. That's why it seemed better than a hotel. And they said they could not help us. It wasn't a case for them. They don't help in those situations. So go to a hotel. They accused us of phoning them, and why don't we go to a hotel? So we're like, okay, we'll go to a hotel. Then on our way to a hotel, Lahti shelter phones us and then gets us to come to the Lahti shelter, which, because it's only 10 minutes walk from the train station, so we're like, okay, why not? And they say we can stay there and that they'll help us, etc. So we go walk over. Then they talk to us through the door, don't let us in, all while being like, it's cold outside. We're like, why not let us in then? Right? And we've not been in the cold. We were in the train and then in Hesburger, then back at the train station to go to Helsinki to take a cab to go to a hotel. Because the Helsinki shelter said we couldn't go there. And then, but we're not...
Can you take a pause?
Yes. Sorry.
Joo, kyllä ymmärtämme tilanne ja me yritimme mennä sinne turvakotiin ja tänne ja jostakin syystä ei meitä päästetty sinne turvakotiin Lahteen myöskin, vaikka oli siellä lähellä.
Mm-hmm. No miksi ne lähtivät niinku omasta asunnosta niinku pakoon?
Why did you need to escape from your own flat?
So because I was apprehended and then arrested by police in Lahti, told I had no right to a lawyer on video because I record them. So on video they say I have no right to a lawyer, and they keep to their word. I'm not given a lawyer while in Lahti police custody. They want to extradite me to Tampere. I am not allowed a lawyer to object to this extradition. I'm arrested from a case that has been under investigation since 2021, where I want to be questioned. I email police all the time. I want to be questioned about it and clear my name. But police refuse to question me, then send a summons in 2025 to an address that I don't live at, and this creates a warrant. So then for other reasons, I meet police and they apprehend me. Don't give me a lawyer. Don't give me a phone call. So Nora doesn't know where I am. I've just disappeared. Then they extradite me to Tampere. No lawyer, no phone call. I don't want to be extradited to Tampere because I fear Tampere police most of all, because they're the ones investigating me for defamation, for making accusations of money laundering, but then refuse to question me. So how do you cannot possibly investigate a defamation case without questioning me. Now so that's why the case. So yeah, I can pause there.
Ongelmana on se, että minua syytettiin ja minua pidätettiin siitä, että on syytetty sitä rahanpesusta, mutta kuitenkin minulle ei ole tarjottu avustajan mahdollisuuksia. Olen pyytänyt avustajan mahdollisuuksia, mutta ei minulle tarjotin siitä. Ja olen pyytänyt apua, minua vain pidätettiin. Ei minulle tarjottu mitään mahdollisuuksia saada avustajan apua.
So the defamation case can never end because police already closed my reports of money laundering.
Eli tämä on loppumaton tarina, koska poliisi on suljenut minun rahanpesun asia nyt.
But then one of the people I accuse of money laundering then accused me of defamation because the police told her there's no money laundering. So put him in jail for defamation then.
Ja sitten kunnianloukkausta. Tämä keisi on suljettu, koska tämä henkilö, joka syyti minua sitä kunnianloukkauksesta, hän sulji sitä rahanpesun asian keisiä.
So why the investigation lasts since 2021 is because they cannot charge me because they can never convict me because there's plenty of evidence of the money laundering. I'm chair and CEO of the corporation, so I have all the documents. But they can't drop the case without admitting that my accusations are credible, which they've already said in them closing my reports that they're not credible. So the solution to the police is just to keep me under investigation forever.
Se asia, mikä oli käsittelyssä 2021, se on ristiriidassa, mitä tapahtuu nyt. Että he eivät voi syytä minua sitä rahapesusta. Ja kuitenkin on voimassa oleva asian käsittely liittyen rahanpesuun, mutta kuitenkin ne eivät voi syytä minua rahanpesusta.
Okei, no mitä potilaan vauvalle on tapahtunut?
What happened to your baby?
Yes, so that's why I'm arrested, extradited to Tampere, where I do get a lawyer in Tampere. So apparently you do have a right to a lawyer. I'm released. I come back to Järvelä. I meet with Nora, who obviously very relieved because you never know when you're going to get released. and then and one detail, I have Nora's wallet, and because I was doing shopping in Lahti, and the Lahti police, the first police officer to phone Nora is in Tampere, the arresting police officer in Tampere, who like runs back after talking to me the first time with Nora's wallet, like in a panic. Who the hell is this? Right? Because obviously, right? Police don't know why I have Nora's wallet, and then he runs off to try to confirm, talk to Nora. So why didn't that happen in Lahti? Lahti police also searched me, also have my wallet. Like, it's natural for me that I have Nora's wallet because I often go do shopping with it, but it shouldn't be natural for Lahti police. So that's one detail, right? Then the video, then the next day I'm released, and the police officer that arrests me shows up in our local Järvelä supermarket, and Nora following Nora into the store. Now Nora finds him particularly remarkable because he's scary, out of place. She's always lived in Järvelä, so she knows basically everybody, so new people are very remarkable, and in her opinion, psycho, so she's afraid of this man already. But she does not know he arrested me. It is only when I return to Järvelä that then I immediately upload the video online, I show it to Nora. At first we're laughing at how dumb these cops are to tell me on video that I don't have a right to a lawyer, and I tell them I'm recording. Like, so she goes from laughing to shaking in fear when she recognizes the police officer from earlier in the day. So I can pause there.
Se on aika semmoinen vähän jännittävä ja pelottava tilanne, kun poliisimiehet sieltä Järvelästä ovat seuraamassa minua, ja kuitenkin minulla ei ole oikeus saada avustaja. Ja sitten hän menee kaupan, hänellä on pelottava ja jännittävä olo, ja hän ei ymmärrä mistä on kyse. Ja sitten kun hänelle näytetään niitä videoita, että mistä on kyse, että kuitenkin heillä ei ole mitään oikeutta pitää minut kiinni, mutta kuitenkin he pitävät minut kiinni.
Mikä tuo lompakkotarina, että ketä on otettu kiinni, niin kuin ymmärsinkö oikein?
What is the story about the wallet? Who has been?
Well, the wallet. This police officer who shows up in Järvelä inspects Nora's wallet the day before when he arrests or apprehends me. Technically, I get arrested technically in Tampere, but when I'm apprehended, he inspects Nora's wallet, right? Instead of phoning her to see if she's okay or even alive, right? Because they don't know who I am, they just know there's a warrant for me, right? He then instead shows up in Järvelä the next day. The only person concerned for Nora's safety is the arresting officer in Tampere, who behaves as you would expect and the only legally possible way.
Eikä se lompakko, mitä on tutkittu, se ainoa asia, mitä heitä kiinnostaa, että kenen lompakko se on, että heitä ei kiinnosta, miten Noralle kuuluu ja kenen se lompakko on. Ja se on vain se, että heitä kiinnostaa, että
So Nora is extremely afraid because now we recognize maybe it's some insane coincidence, but decision making is about evaluating risk, and the risk for us that this is not a coincidence, and this officer he knows we took a video that compromises his career. Now he has motivation against us. He shows up in our hometown 30 kilometers away from where he apprehended me, right? The rational thing to do is better safe than sorry. So we want to leave the Lahti jurisdiction for Helsinki, where we will feel safe and then can figure things out. When we leave, Järvelä is 8 o'clock, so it's not like super late to get to Helsinki and get to either a shelter, our first option, or a hotel. We believe shelter people would be impartial and evaluate the risk from a police officer. Not tell us to fuck off, basically.
Meillä on aika vahva epäily, että poliisi on toiminut niin, että hän on tehnyt tahallansa asiaa, meillä ei ole mitään muita vaihtoehtoja kuin mennä turvakotiin tai hotelliin. Ja arvioimme tilanne niin, että mennä turvakotiin olisi paras vaihtoehto meille.
Joo, no hän ei vastannut, että mitä hänen vauvoille on käynyt. Että tuossa lääkäri kirjoitti, että potilas epäili, tai potilas sanoi, että poliisi olisi laittanut vauvaan niin kuin saunaa. Eli miten se on mahdollista?
Okay, but now we have to evaluate the state of the child. That it's in the report mentioned that the police has put the child in the sauna.
No. I said no. I have not said this. Mm-hmm. And if this is recorded, this is false, and we'll be taking legal action.
Tämä ei pidä paikansa ja kyllä vastustamme sitä laillisesti.
Niin, mutta mistä syystä nyt vauva on hoidossa? Että mitä vauvalle on tapahtunut?
No, I said
What's the reason the child is under the treatment now? What's the reason?
The doctors, we then come to the hospital the next day. Now, I would like to finish how the child gets taken by the state, if I can.
Joo.
Minä haluaisin jatkaa vain vauvasta, jos on mahdollista. Ja se oli otettu hoitoon vahingossa.
So Helsinki shelter says we have no case to be helped. Mm-hmm. They then phone Lahti shelter, who phones us and asks us to come there, which is like a 10-minute walk from the train station. We're about to get on the train, it's like in 5 minutes, but Nora believes social workers will help her, and then so we go there. They do not let us in. They just talk to us through the door, accusing us of having a baby in the cold. We're like, well, you asked us to come here, and now you don't let us in. Like, what the not like. Then they tell us to go away. So we, but as long as we go to a hotel, we're like, yeah. They phone us and we're like, well, you can't stay outside. Well, we're going to a hotel. They're like, okay, hotel is fine. So then we're on the train, because we still want to leave. We have to take the next train, obviously. But we're on the train. Going to go to the airport hotel simply because the airport's always open and you don't have to be outside to get to the airport once you're in a train. And then the police show up and accuse us and say the social workers accuse us of drug use and alcohol use. And then they tell Nora that we can be in the shelter and we'll be safe with the baby, with her spouse, me, and that we will not have to be in the cold, and that we can just stay in the shelter and we'll be safe. Now I know this is a trick, but I can't stop Nora without being arrested for life. So she trusts them naively, and I can't stop the situation from unfolding. So then we are brought to the shelter. The police accuse us of being drugged and drunk. When Nora brings up our fear of the police officer that she saw in the store, the police claim that the officer was there on police business to serve the summons that he had served to me the day before in Lahti, 30 kilometers away. Remarkably, they do not deny that is this the same police officer, but they have the summons, so they can easily present the story to the social worker that, hey, this was official police business, and now we're delusionally accusing this honest police officer of stalking us. So the social worker takes the baby, no drug test is administered or alcohol test. The doctors let Nora breastfeed the baby the next day without any drug test or talk of drugs. So obviously no one in the situation, from the police, social workers, to the doctors, even believes there's any potential drug use or alcohol use, or else we would have been tested a lot about it. So that's how the baby is taken. I show the video, because the police come to talk to me, they keep me in the van, obviously separating me from Nora. They come to talk to me, and I say, we fear a stalker. We want to be brought to a shelter or a place of safety. He's like, what stalker? I'm like, I can show you a video of him. And he's like, okay. So I show him the video of the police officer arresting me, telling me I have no rights. The police officer says to close the video. I say, and I move forward to show the face. He just says, pah, and like walks away. When he comes back with Nora, without the baby, I'm like, you saw the video, right? And police do not resolve accusations against police. So the mere fact that they say it's not legally possible what they're doing to begin with. Only prosecutors investigate accusations against police, not police against their bros. You can translate that, please.
Eli tässä tapauksessa tuntui siltä, että kaikki nämä syytökset ovat meitä vastaan ja meillä ei ole mitään mahdollisuuksia vastustaa niihin. Ja on tapahtunut niin, että ei kukaan tarkistanut minkälainen tilanne on. Ja oli todella pelottava ja outo tilanne, kun olemme niin vahvassa uskonnossa, että turvakoti auttaa meitä, mutta ei kukaan on ottanut meidän kanta. Ja olemme tullut sinne turvakotiin vahvassa uskonnossa, että meitä autetaan, mutta ei kukaan kuunnellut meitä, eikä kukaan on ottanut niitä huumetestejä ja meitä vain syytetään.
Joo, mutta mistä syystä tämä sauna on tullut niihin kuvioihin, että mistä saunasta puhutaan?
Okay, so we are
About the
yes.
sauna,
So the doctors, when we get to the hospital the next day, the doctors accuse us of dehydrating the baby, and that the time the time between the baby being taken away and being at the hospital has no relevance to the baby's care. That's what they say. That the baby could only the
Dehydraatio, eli
so so they say the dehydration could only have occurred in our care, and the example of the sauna is simply that clearly that it's common sense that you can dehydrate faster than multiple days. That what I told your colleague, that if you go in a sauna and do not take liquids, you will dehydrate. Everybody in Finland knows this. So if this is intentional misrepresentation of what I said, I will end this person's career. Now if it's just like short...
Silloin kun mennään saunaan Suomessa, käsitellään siitä, että on kuivumista juuri sen vuoksi, että ei ole tarpeeksi saatu sitä nesteyttä.
Because the other possibility that we harmed the child is that the police, after taking the child on 2 false allegations, one they clearly don't believe because we are never tested for alcohol and drug use at all, and the other that they cannot possibly police cannot just go around accusing people of being delusional about accusing police and take their baby away. They realize they need to harm the baby to create new justifications for why they took the baby in the first place. So how they dehydrated the baby, whether just not giving it any liquids for enough hours, or maybe bringing it to a sauna, or heating up the car, or putting lots of covers. There are many ways to intentionally dehydrate a baby. Your colleagues at the pediatric ward, or where the baby is, claiming that this is simply not possible in circumstances they were not involved in, is for me intentional fraud. Do they take me for a fool? That you cannot dehydrate a baby in the 12 or 16 hours or whatever it was between the baby was taken and then we see it again?
Eli tämä on väärennysjuttua, että ette voi käsitellä niin, että te voitte, että vauva on kuivunut sen vuoksi, että ei ole saanut tarpeeksi juotavaa eikä on ollut liikaa saunassa.
Now I tell the nurse and the doctors multiple times it is not their job to defend the actions of police and social workers in circumstances they were not involved in. So just do the medicine. Then we're like, get my lawyer, get our lawyer, get the hospital lawyer to talk to each other if you want to do legal things, make legal points. They say no. They say no lawyers. We only want to do medical points, no legal points at all. So I'm like, okay, yes, do the medicine. That's what we expect from doctors.
Ja me toivomme lääkärin puolesta, että hoitavat lapsia, että eivät selvitä mitään muita juutta, että ei ole heidän asia selvitä niitä laillisia juttuja. Ei ole meidän laillisia juttuja eikä lääkärin laillisia juttuja, mutta heidän pitäisi hoitaa vauvaa, että hänellä on kaikki kunnossa.
And we were dumped back at the train station after the baby was taken away. We've told social workers that we fear we are being stalked and potentially murdered by police. And we tell the police that. They dump us back at the train station after promising safety and you will have a warm place to stay. At 1 o'clock in the morning, there are no trains. We go to a hotel, a self-check-in hotel, but you can't actually check in at night. Like you can only check in for the next day now. We don't want to go, like maybe the police are at our apartment to kill us. We don't want to go back there, but eventually we're forced to just take a cab and go back home. So Nora has slept 3 hours. We wake up at 8 o'clock. I don't sleep at all. I document everything and send it to our lawyer, to the police, to prosecutors. And then we see the baby. So Nora has slept like 3 hours. Her baby was just taken away. And then after lawyers back off and say they're only going to do medical points, no legal points, it's certainly not the appropriate time to interrogate her, they do their interrogation. And I cannot stop this or else I will be accused of controlling Nora or whatever. So they interrogate Nora to try to say that she's shaken the baby and etc. etc. Again, back to legal points. We've already asked our lawyer to talk to the hospital's lawyer to create a context where our rights are respected. They disregard our rights. They start accusing Nora. They say my concern of what happened to the baby after it was taken is invalid.
Joo, tulka tämä ja...
Tässä on ollut aika paljon laiminlyöntiä, kun meitä vain heitettiin sinne rautatieasemalle, jo oli aika myöhässä ja me joutuimme menemään hotellin ja meille ei kerrottu mitä vauvalle tapahtui ja
Eli
on aika paljon laiminlyöntiä.
Oliko niin, että vauva on otettu pois vanhemmilta ja sitten vauva on niin kuin laitettu sairaalaan ja potilas ajattelee, että vauvalle on niin kuin, tavallaan aiheutettu tätä tautia tai tätä kuivumaa. Eli hän ei ole niin kuin itse nähnyt niin kuin vauvan niin kuin osalta mitä ongelmaa. Että ajatteleeko, että sitä vauva laitettiin sairaalaan niin kuin vähän tahallaan? Että...
Is it so that you think that the baby has been put into the hospital on purpose?
Yeah, to create new justifications to take the baby away in the first place, which did not exist at the time. So they accuse us of drug use and alcohol use. They know that is false. They don't even bother to test us. They accuse us of being delusional. Now, question for you, doctor. Is it the job of police to determine people's mental states and mental competence, and if they're delusional? Or is there a long legal process involving not police to determine that? Because I've read the law, and to assign the status of delusion to somebody, my reading of the law is it's a lot more involved and complicated than police on the street accusing you of being delusional when you say you fear being stalked and murdered by one of their colleagues.
Nyt minulla on vahva mietintä siitä, että miten te toimitte täällä Suomessa, että onko vauva otettu pois meiltä, kun meitä syytetään siitä, että olemme ottamassa alkoholia tai huumeita, tai onko niin, että meitä yritetään syytää siitä, että...
So a rhetorical question, but clearly, like the original accusations were drug use and being delusional. Those obviously don't make any sense. So they have motivation to purposely harm the child to make sure at least the state does ultimately take the baby away. Now this might involve the collaboration of other people, such as doctors at the hospital.
Nyt on sellainen retorinen kysymys, että onko niin, meitä syytetään tahallansa sitä huumeiden käytöstä tai laakerit yrittävät tehdä sitä tahallansa, että meiltä otetaan vauva pois.
And like what is for certain is doctors at the hospital defend police actions that they were not involved in. Now this can be because they really like police, or because they are intentionally involving themselves in crime.
Nyt on sellainen kysymys, että onko se niin, että poliisi kuitenkin tekee kaikki mahdollisimmat, että on joku rikos kyseessä.
And just a minute, and this is not a case of my word against a doctor's word. I record these conversations and I tell them I'm recording them.
Ja minä tallennan kaikki nämä keskustelut ja tallennan kaikki keskustelut.
Right? They say that no need for lawyers.
Onko heillä nyt niin kuin joku mikki päällä siis?
Are you now recording all these conversations?
What is the law about that? Well, you want to talk legal points? Phone a lawyer, get lawyers involved. We have a lawyer. Hospital has a lawyer. Our lawyers can talk about any legal points. That's what I tell all the doctors.
Meillä on avustaja ja olen kertonut siitä, että on avustajat aina.
No vaan niin kuin potilaalle tai heille tiedoksi, että osastolle ei saa ainakaan niin kuin muita ihmisiä niin kuin henkilökuntaa niin kuin kuvata ja nauhoittaa. Ei se niin kuin minua haittaa, mutta meillä on sellaiset säännöt, että
It's just for your information that you are not allowed to record anything in the hospital.
Well, I'm not recording.
Okay.
But if you want to talk legal rights, bring lawyers.
No ei mulle siltikään auennut, että mitä niin kuin vauvalle on niin kuin tapahtunut, mutta mä kysyn vielä.
What happened to the child? I did not get.
Joo. Mä kysyn niin kuin tällaisia just, että onko potilas koskaan kuullut tällaisia ääniä pään sisällä, että jotain puhetta, että joku puhuisi hänelle?
Okay, I have a question to you. Did you ever hear anything like somebody is talking to you?
Any voices in your head?
No.
Okei. Kokeeko potilas itseään niin kuin masentuneeksi?
Do you feel like you are feeling depressed?
No. Well, I'm very sad that the baby has been taken away, but I'm very active in the baby's defense.
Mm-hmm.
I've written everything, documented everything as it happens, and sent it to the hospital legal department, to police, to the prosecutors, to our lawyer.
Yeah.
So everything is documented essentially in real time with whatever, the recordings of doctors. I tell them they're recording. I tell people I'm recording them. Like the police in the video that apprehend me, I tell them I'm recording, and they say I have no right to a lawyer on recording. All of this is I send in real time, so I'm not depressed in my ability to respond to the situation. Of course, it's very sad to have a baby taken away from you.
Okei, mä ymmärsin hänen vastausta, mä oon vähän oppinut jo englantia tässä matkalla. Oliko hänellä koskaan nyt viime aikana sellaisia ajatuksia, että kaikki vaan loppuisi ja hän kuolisi pois?
Did you have any thoughts that everything would finish if you would die?
Onko hän miettinyt, että niin kuin itsemurhaa?
Like suicidal thoughts?
Did you think about suicide? Yes.
No, I have no suicidal thoughts at all.
Hyvä. Mikä hänen pahin pelko, että hänelle vaimolle tai vauvalle nyt tulee tapahtumaan?
What are the worst thoughts are in your mind? What would happen to you and your wife or your baby?
Well, like there's motivation to harm us by police, such as a video where the police clearly disrespect my right to a lawyer, which is like the most fundamental right you have in dealing with police and lawyers. So we do not know what these police are capable of. They're capable of showing up in our hometown the next day. They're capable of having Nora's wallet but not phoning her to see if she's okay. They are clearly intending to harm us. Now the extent of the harm I don't know, but obviously the maximum extent is murder, to murder witnesses, to police corruption. Now, maybe he was just in the town by coincidence. I can entertain the possibility. Maybe he was in Järvala simply to, make his presence known and intimidate us, or maybe he was there to surveil us and plan a murder. Like, certainly, that's in the realm of possibility. Now, for me, the risk is high enough to warrant going to Helsinki in a different jurisdiction and then trying to figure it out the next day. So what matters is the risk actionable, not like like I do not operate on this is certainly true, right? It's what's the risks and what is the wisest course of action. Now there's a risk the police are simply intimidating us, which is unpleasant, obviously, to experience and good to get away from. There's a risk that police are planning to murder us, which is also unpleasant and good to get away from. So we want to get to Helsinki.
Oliko teillä selvä, että heillä on sellainen epäily, että poliisi yrittää tehdä kaikki heitä vastaan, että heitä syytetään tai sitten...
No joo, suurin piirtein mä ymmärsin, no onko hänellä pelko, että häntä tapetaan tai perheenjäseniä tapetaan, että jotain pahimpaa?
Do you have any fear that you will be murdered or...
Well, there is, like, you can look up online right now, what do 3 corpses have to do with the corruption case? Where, by the Financial Times, right, detailing suspected murders by the same money laundering network of Isabel dos Santos, the daughter of the ex-dictator of Angola, who there's a arrest warrant for. Like, I can show you the documents. It is it is about the Katoka diamond mine. Right, this is the original money laundering evidence from 2021 that starts these police investigations and so on. ERG Group is on the documents. That's what this Financial Times article is about. And these are suspected murders of corporate executives, such as myself, to cover up money laundering schemes. So it is certainly, if you look up money laundering and murder, you get many examples of people being murdered to cover up money laundering. So I certainly think it's possible. Now, if I thought it was like certain, I would go, live in the forest. But I manage the risk. So so I try to be as wise as possible, balancing the need to try to live a normal life with avoiding harm from organized crime. So for example, I simply I simply didn't put an address in the government system, since that seems like a foolish thing to do, right? So these are small things to minimize the risk. Obviously, like fully documenting. Right now, what I was also to clarify, what I was trying to accomplish with police when I originally went to police, I'm not trying to get anybody convicted or get anybody arrested or take some sort of corporate revenge or whatever. All I wanted was to deliver my evidence to the police that investigate money laundering, and then it's not my problem anymore, right? And then if I don't demand my issues are the most important issues. Like, it's evidence of money laundering, it's evidence of these networks. It can be on police files maybe for years before it's relevant. So all I want to do is go to police, deliver my evidence, make my statement, and then it's out of my hands. And this simply never happens. I email the financial intelligence unit, it's called, and they just email me back to get an attorney to report it, which I then hire, and he refuses to make the report to the financial intelligence unit. I bring I go to local police, because you cannot report anything directly to the National Bureau. I go to local police, they shut the cases down without ever talking to me, and then open this defamation case against me for making money laundering allegations. No point since 2021 has any police officer taken my statement, taken the evidence, and as long as my evidence and my story is nowhere recorded, right? Then there is motivation to get rid of me, to prevent that from ever happening. Isabel dos Santos has an Interpol red notice, an international arrest warrant. What does Interpol say? If you have information about Isabel dos Santos, go to your local police. Right, so local police in Tampere not giving my understanding of Isabel dos Santos' money laundering scheme in Angola is literally a treaty violation. Right, Finland is treaty obliged to send in to collaborate with Interpol red notices. So the situation from my point of view is like I'm CEO of a corporation. I report money laundering to the auditor. For me, that's the only thing to do. The auditor tells me she can't do anything.
Okei, no kyllä mä sain selvää tässä, että tämä asia selkeästi häntä vaivaa ja hän olisi jopa valmis metsään asumaan ja tällaista. Mutta hän yrittää olla nyt tossa kiltisti ja näin ja olla niin yhteistyökykyinen tässä. Mä kysyisin vielä, että onko hän käyttänyt oikeasti jotain päihteitä, alkoholia, kannabista, muita huumeita?
Okay, now it's evident that you are trying to emphasize these legal issues, but did you use any drugs or any alcohol?
I'm completely sober since years.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, not a drop.
Mm-hmm. Joo, okei.
En ole käytänyt alkoholia tai mitään huumeita.
Okei, no meidän täytyy lopettaa. Niiden esitietojen niin perusteella ja nyt tämän keskustelun perusteella, eli mulle eli psykiatrille kyllä herää niin epäily tällaisesta, no ainakin niin harhaluulosta. Ja se on sellainen niin psykoottinen häiriö ja meidän täytyy ottaa potilas tänne tarkkailuun. Eli hän jää tänne osastolle muutamaksi päiväksi ja häntä tavataan joka päivää lääkärin toimesta. Ja tarkkailujakso on pisimmillään niin 4 vuorokautta, niin jos tätä päivää lasketaan.
Okay, but anyhow I don't have any I'm not doubting anything, but it's just that we are going to supervise you for several days.
I can show you the evidence.
Under the supervision.
I can show you the evidence right now. If you want to see, some of these stuff, it was unbelievable to me that people would send me this evidence. It was unbelievable to me that for instance, it's unbelievable that cops would claim that I don't have a right to a lawyer on video that is now on YouTube. Just to explain the legal situation here, doctor, all the evidence is already with other people. The video of the police is already on YouTube. No one will support this idea I have to be supervised.
Emme tutkita niitä videoita eikä niitä poliisijuttuja. Meidän tehtävä nyt arvioida just tämän tarkkailuseurannan jakson avulla, että onko potilaalla psyykkinen häiriö. Ja minusta kyllä ne perusteet tässä täyttyy.
Okay, we are not going to follow whether these circumstances for following you up are fulfilled or not, but according to what we see, it's just that we have to follow you for a certain period of time.
Well, what exactly is seen here in this conversation?
Mikä tässä keskustelussa oikeasti on?
Kun meille kyllä ja lähettävällä lääkärille syntyy epäily, että potilas on psyykkisesti sairas ja hänellä saattaisi olla sellainen psykoottinen häiriö, minkä vuoksi potilas laiminlyönyt vauvan hoitoa.
Okay, according to the direction we have received from your doctor, it's like a kind of a guess that you are violating the rules of taking care of the child, and that's the reason that they are supervising you now.
What violating what rules?
No, mä ymmärsin, että potilas ei ole ehkä halukas jäädä, mutta tämä on ihan laillista, mitä nyt tulee tapahtumaan. Ja niin kun, jos hän ymmärtää, että hänen asiat on hyvin monimutkaisia, ja tämän takia me katsotaan ja seurataan vointia ja saada lisätietoa, koska kaikista ei ehdittynyt puhumaan. Ja sen avulla me voidaan tehdä aika luotettava niin kuin päätös potilaan niin kuin psyykkisestä voinnista niin kuin nyt ajankohtaisesti.
So as it is like the situation is quite unstable and we have to follow you up for a while and as it is quite unstable situation we have to follow you up and then we will have to make an evaluation of your
What exactly is unstable? The baby is in the hospital. We're staying with Nora's parents. What is unstable here?
Syy niin kuin miksi hän jää tänne vai?
Joo, kyllä.
No, tässä tapauksessa mä hoidan vai niin kuin arvioivan potilaan vointia. Mä en ota kantaa hänen vaimo-asioihin ja vauva-asioihin, sitten niillä on omat lääkärityyli. Mutta kyllä mä näen potilassa tällaisia oireita, mitkä viittavat vahvasti niin kuin, psyykkiseen sairauteen tai jonkinlaisen häiriöön, ja kyllä tätä täytyy tutkia.
Okay, I don't have anything to say about your wife or about your child or about anything else, but it's just about your own state. There are some symptoms which are showing that you need to be supervised for a while.
And I asked the hospital that any evaluations be done after our lawyer talks to the hospital lawyer. Like, what are my rights here? I've already asked for a lawyer to discuss the context of any mental evaluations of myself or Nora. I asked for a lawyer. I sent, when I heard there would be mental evaluations, I immediately sent a letter to the hospital legal department asking for lawyers to be involved in determining, making sure my rights are respected in representation vis-a-vis the hospital. Why is my right to a lawyer not respected?
Mä pyytäisin, että kaikki tiedot on myös lähetetty avustajille. Ja minä pyytäisin, että miksi ei kunnioiteta näitä.
Niin, tästä tarkkailuläheteestä hän ei valitettavasti oikeutta niin kuin tehdä valituksia, se on ihan laissa niin, mutta se tarkkailujakso, se on sellainen niin kuin määräaikainen jakso, ja sen niin kuin lopussa tulee ylilääkärin visio, eli sitten sekä hoitava lääkäri että ylilääkäri arvioi sitä tilannetta, ja sen jälkeen tehdään päätöstä, että tavallaan tehdäänkö vapauttava päätös tai pidättävä päätös. Ja siitä totta kai potilaalle tulee niin kuin tietoa ja niin kuin lomaketta allekirjoitettavaksi. Ja kyllä tässä sairaalassa on potilasasiamiehet ja tällaiset. Että kyllä, että me yritetään niin kuin vastata heidän pyyntöihin.
So we try to respond to your requests. It's just that you are followed up, and then it will be an evaluation on behalf of the doctor, and then there will be an evaluation on behalf of the doctor in charge about your situation, and then of course you are able to see this evaluation, and then you are able also
I requested to the hospital a legal representation in discussing any mental evaluations. Could you print out a law that allows you to ignore my request?
Eli hän kysyy, että kun tahdosta riippumatta niin kuin hänet hoidetaan, niin kuin, että hän, niin. Eli tässä tapauksessa niin tässä se on niin kuin laillista, että kyllä meillä on niin kuin oikeus mielenterveyslain mukaan ottaa potilasta tarkkailuun niin kuin vakavin perustein, ja ja tässä tapauksessa se on niin kuin hänen tahdosta niin kuin riippumatta.
Yes, we have according to the law the right to supervise you according to your mental health state.
And disregard my request for legal representation.
Ja riippumatta siitä, että minä vaadin, että olisi oikeusavustaja.
No niin, oikeusavustaja ei kuulu ehkä niinku tällaiseen, että ei ne ikinä osallistu niinku tähän keskusteluun, mutta mä sanoisin, että tässä sairaalassa on niinku potilasasiamiehet, mutta tarkailusta niinku päättää, tai tarkailun asettamisesta päättää ainoastaan psykiatri, eli päivystävä psykiatri, eli minä. Ja kun tarkkailujakso on niinku ohi, sitten ylilääkäri niinku ottaa siihen kantaa. Eli siihen ei tarvita sitten, niinku, että laissa ei ole määritetty, että siihen pitäisi osallistua joku asianajaja.
Well, it's according to this supervision period, it's I'm deciding on that because I'm the doctor in charge, psychiatric doctor. But it's later on your legal advisors can take part in this.
Well, when?
Jos hän niinku, no, nyt on lauantai huomeneksi, niin? Joo. Niinku lauantai huomenna, joo, mutta...
So tomorrow is,
joo, mutta me kyllä kirjataan tästä keskustelusta niinku, ja potilaalla on niinku oikeus tutustua niihin papereihin niinku jälkikäteen, mutta minä, jos se niinku ajattelee se asia siitä näkökulmasta, että kun mä näen, että potilas on selkeästi ahdistunut tästä tilanteesta ja hän niinku pelkää niitä poliiseja ja hän on nukkunut huonosti ja hän on koko ajan miettimässä tällaisia ikäviä asioita ja me ollaan huolissa hänen psyykkisestä voinnista ja hänen jaksamisesta ja me tarjotaan hänelle niinku sekä seuranta että apua.
Okay, but I will write a report, but it's evident that you are suppressed with what has been happening and also with what has happening to your child and yourself, and we will make a report and you have the right to apply for legal assistance.
No, I mean, like, legal representation.
Legal assistance, it has been meant.
Okay, well, I don't know what, maybe she's just mistranslating.
Mutta niinku, tämä on meille psykiatreille niinku ihan rutiini. Eli sitten nyt mitä tapahtuu tässä osastolla, tämä ei mitenkään poiki niinku mistä käytännöistä. Eli meillä on niinku epäily, meillä ei tarvitse olla mikä 100% niinku varmuus, mutta me asia tutkitaan ja sitten ne tarkkailujaksot, ne on aina niinku määräaikaisia, eli sitten se tulee loppumaan. Eli ei sellaista pelkoa, että me niinku pidetään hänet väkisin tässä niinku loppuelämää. Semmoista niinku mahdollisuutta meillä ei ole.
But we have a kind of a guess what has been happening, and it doesn't mean that we are going to keep you end of your life here. We're just guessing.
We're just what?
Guessing.
Eli sitten niinku tarkkaillaan, se tarkkailulähete on just
We're just watching what's going on.
Okay, well, I do not feel at all depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I do not, like I've been able to respond to the situation, document in real time what the police have done, upload the videos of what the police have done, document what doctors have done, upload the videos of what doctors have done, write everything to the prosecution and my lawyer and the police investigating, etc. So I don't feel, I honestly do not feel in any way depressed, nor is there any evidence of depression. Like, what is the evidence of depression? I agree it's sad to have a baby taken away, but what is the danger to myself that needs to be mitigated by staying here?
No, mä en ajattele, että hänelle on jotain niinku haittaa tässä, mutta nyt vauva on niinku hoidossa ja vauva on toimitettu hoitoon ilmeisesti viranomaisten niinku tahdosta ja se merkitsee niinku minulle, että vanhemmat jostain syystä eivät pystyneet niinku vastata niinku vauvan niinku tarpeisiin ja nyt me tutkitaan sitten. Mä en ole vielä mitä mieltä, mä en ole kenenkään puolella, mutta me tutkitaan asiaa, mutta meidän täytyy varmasti lopettaa.
We're just now investigating the case. It's not that you are not taking enough care of the baby or whatever. It's just that we're investigating the case now.
Ja mä kirjoitan tuohon, että potilas ei ollut suostuvainen hoitoon ja kyllä me aloitetaan niinku tällainen tahdonvastainen niinku tarkkailu, että se asia on selvä, että potilas antoi ymmärtää.
What are like who can I contact? What are my ability to contact the outside world?
Kenen minun voi olla yhteydessä tähän hoitoon?
No jos joku vieras haluaa tulla, sitten meillä on aukioloajat tai vierailuajat, sitten hänellä tai hänen kännykkää niinku pysyy niinku hänellä, että hän voi soittaa. Ainoastaan hän ei pääse niinku tältä osastolta pois.
So you can contact whoever you can through your phone, but you cannot escape from this department.
Okay.
Okei, eli hänet asetetaan tarkkailuun ja mä kiitän tästä tulkauksesta ja potilasta kiitän niin kuin jaksamisesta.
But we are going to follow with your supervision session and we are thanking the interpreter for this.
Okay, and but I would like, can you please summarize again the symptoms of this diagnosis?
No mä oon sanonutkin, että mä epäilen, että hänellä on tällaisia harhaluuloja.
I think that you have some illusions.
You think I have some illusions? But but you are uninterested in seeing the evidence, such as this when I'm apprehended?
Oletko kiinnostunut niistä todisteista?
Me kyllä koko ajan niin kuin jatkossa kerätään sitä dataa. Siis ne asiat on yleensäkin aika monimutkaisia, mutta minua psykiatrina niin kuin kiinnosta ei niin kuin asioiden niin kuin sisältöä, vaan niin kuin potilaan suhtautuminen asioihin.
Yeah, we are following these situations all the time, but it's just that how you place yourself towards these circumstances.
Okay. Well, can you explain one illusion that you think I'm suffering from? Or maybe suffering from?
No.
Voisitko sinä selittää niistä?
No eikö hänen niinku omasta mielestäkin tämä tilanne niinku kuulostaa aika niinku oudolta, että poliisi vainoo ja poliisi on häntä vastaan ja sen sijaan, että niille tarjottaisiin apua, niitä vainotaan ja niin poispäin.
Is it so that the police is following you and it's like that the police is against you?
The police say I have no right to a lawyer when they apprehend me. That is illegal. That is obviously against me. The police show up in Järvelä, following Nora into a store.
Pidättelee minulle ja en pysty
Joo.
mitenkään.
No tuossa noissa tällaisissa psykoottisissa häiriöissä niin on ominaista, että potilailla ei välttämättä sitä sairauden tuntoa sitten, että ne ei koe itseään niin sairaaksi, mutta jos potilas on sitä mieltä, että uskon, että hän on niin ahkera työntekijä tai hän haluaa, että asiat tehdään niin oikeudenmukaisesti. Jos hän niin antaisi nyt meille niin tehdä ne asiat niin kuin ne kuuluu tehdä, että hän niin yrittäisi luottaa niin meihin.
Okay, then there is another option when the patient is able to give us the power to decide whatever it is connected with these actions. So if you give us the full right, so we can
Well,
solve the situation.
I do not give any rights. What do you mean give the full rights?
No, vitsikon ei ymmärrä, mutta jos en antaisi meille tehdä niin kuin meidän työt.
I would like the intervention of the judge. I will not sign any right. I will not sign any rights away without, of course, especially not without legal counsel.
No, you don't have to sign anything.
Well, if you're telling what you can arbitrate, like that you can take my rights away, as you're saying.
Ei me puhuta niinku, no mä haluan hänen viestittää, että me mennään kuitenkin niinku lain mukaisesti ja sitten meille toi laki on niin tiukkaa, että meille ei anneta niinku kuukausiaikoja, sitten meille annetaan muutama päivä aikaa niinku just setviä, että onko jostain niinku psyykkisestä niinku vaivasta kyse.
Arvioida onko
Okay, I would like to tell you that it's like we are allowed to take few days, not months, like to sign.
Sign?
No to solve, like mikä se? To decide, to take decision, niin.
Okay, well I would.
Joo.
Okay, and then like you do not want to see the video of this police officer, which is online. You can see it on your phone.
Okei, mutta sinä voit näyttää niin kuin lääkärille niin kuin jatkossa, mutta mä oon niin kuin päivystävä lääkäri ja mun tehtävä nyt niin kuin päättää, että jäätkö tänne vai laitaanko mä sut kotiin, mutta minun päätös, että sinä jäät tänne.
Okay, it's not about this, but you have to make a decision whether you allow or not. It's just that
I make the decision whether to allow or not.
Olenko minä päättämässä sitä?
No hän ei ole niin kuin tässä tapauksessa niin kuin päättämässä. Se on niin kuin lääkärin niin kuin päätös, kyllä.
It's in any way it's a doctor decision now.
Okay, well I requested to the hospital that we have legal counsel speak before any evaluation. I requested that before coming to this meeting.
Mä olen pyytänyt sitä yhteydenvettä.
I have already made the case to the hospital that the hospital cannot and the hospital staff cannot possibly be impartial in this case due to the events that have already transpired.
Mä olen jo maininnut siitä, että emme voi päätyä siihen, että minun keisi on sellainen neutraali tässä tapauksessa.
Mutta he kyllä niinku tulee saamaan kyllä niinku ihan niinku papereita, kun tarkkailujakso on niinku pidetty, on tehty ja sitten kyllä he tulee saamaan niitä niinku asiakirjoja kyllä. Allekirjoitettavaksi me aina niinku annetaan potilaalle ja niinku näin.
So as I said, you will give the papers sent by post to you.
No, what papers?
Siis kun tarkkailujakso on niinku takana, sitten tuut saamaan niinku ylilääkärin niinku päätöstä.
When this supervision period is over, you will get the papers at home.
What these papers?
Mikä papereita?
No tämä on M1, mutta sulle tulee niinku M2, M3 tällaisia seuraavia.
So you will get N2 and N3 papers.
Okay, and so but there's really like the accusation is or the diagnosis is I'm under illusions.
Se ei mikään niinku rangaistus, se on tällainen meidän niinku tutkimustapa. Meidän tapa tutkia niinku potilaan niinku psyykkistä vointia.
So this is the way we are investigating the mental state of the patient.
Okay, but like it seemed the allegation or the diagnosis was illusions about police actions, that there's no desire to see the video of these police actions. That causes the fear of police.
Kyllä varmasti niinku katsotaan niinku jatkossa, mutta mulle niinku riitti niinku muitakin tietoja tässä. Ja kysyn potilasta, mä tiedän, hän ei käytä mitä lääkkeitä, että onko hän halukas saada jotain unilääkettä esimerkiksi, mitä hän ajattelee, saako hän nukuttua tänä yönä?
Do you think you need any medicines to get asleep?
No, I sleep well.
Okei. No hyvä. Eli niinku, en kirjoita hänelle mitä lääkkeitä, mutta mun täytyy lähteä, että mulle soitettiin jo toisesta osastolta.
But is there
No,
coffee?
you don't need any medicine. No, I
Okay.
got an appointment from other department.
Okei,
Yes.
hyvä. No niin, lopetetaan tähän. Kiitos, moi.
Okay. Just wait now. Bye bye.
Bye. Tuo oli ihan väsynyt tulkki. Joo. Okei, eli you stay here.
I will talk to you more and I will show you the places and I try to tell you this thing a little bit better than
Sure.
Okei.
maybe I write and translate. I think it's better if I go and write and translate it to you in English. What this
Okay.
is.
Yes. Okay.
Because it's a little difficult and I think the translator wasn't so good.
Okay.
So I try to explain it to you.
Okay. Good.
You
Yes. There's
there.
lots of points that
Yeah.
were confusing.
Okei, hyvä.
Okay. I stay here for now.
No, I will show you the work and places and where you can sleep tonight.
Okay. Great.
Se näkyy tuolla laitteessa.
Mä olin siinä tuolla Koksulissa
Are there any English books or?
We maybe have, it's night so we try
Okay.
to sleep. Can you sit here a little bit, Eric? So